Are? Are? Come to help you look at you see that some I not to show you. Come on. Three, two, one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sound check. Damn, if you hear loud and clear, lovely, nice, cool. Well, I'll just press this mic right here.
Welcome to live coverage of Match 32 of the Caribbean Club Championship 2017 here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain, Trinidad. It is the defending champions Central FC coming up against Grenades FC in what promises to be another exciting match, with San Juan Jabloteh winning 2-0 earlier against Racing FC earlier in the game in Group B. Group A is now poised in an interesting fashion. It's all for Central Sports to do to get into the finals. My name is Vidya Ramphal, and I'm alongside the former Trinidad and Tobago player Russell Latifi as getting ready for this one. Central FC arrived earlier and certainly looking confident ahead of this encounter, Russell.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure that they're playing at home and they want to start this group with a victory. They're defending champions. So they're going to want to come out here and ensure that they're champions and play a good game to get going and pick up 3 points.
Central FC won the last 2 editions of this event in 2015 and 2016. They've also been dominant in Trinidad and Tobago. They are the 2014-15 and champions. That's their first title, and then winning the next 2 seasons, the first team to win 3 titles in a row. Grenades FC is from Antigua, established back in 1990, and they have risen to the top of football in Antigua. And their home ground is the famed cricket venue, the Antigua Recreation Ground. For those who are predicting a cricket score in this one, they certainly wouldn't want that to happen.
Nah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think at this level, everyone can play.
Central FC, of course, Sean De Silva will pull the strings in the midfield for them. And Carlos Edwards, your former teammate in the Soca Warriors team, also in there. And this is, of course, coached by Dale Saunders.
I think another important player for Central FC would be Makano. You know, when he's playing well, he makes things happen for them.
And Grenades FC, a few of the national players for Antigua and Barbuda involved in this one. Polius is certainly one who will show up his wares along with Raheem Henry, the number 10 for them. So the team's just doing the protocol stuff at the moment. Derek Edwards is the coach of the Grenades team. And the match officials for this game, Sherwin Moore of Guyana. He officiated at the CONCACAF Under-17 Championship recently. Assistant referee 1 is Dane Ritchie. Assistant referee 2 is Kwan Budd. And the 4th official today is Gianni Ascani. That is the 3rd team on the field for today's game. And certainly they play a huge part in the way this game runs here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium this evening.
Well, if we are to take anything from the first game and this game is of the same standard, we're in for an exciting game as well. You know, the referees on the previous game of this doubleheader, they did a fantastic job. No major incidents to talk about. They led the game play. It was a fair game for both sides, and I'm looking forward to this one as well.
Central FC in the grey outfits and the Grenades FC in the light green outfits there. And they will be attacking Grenades. The goal to our left, Central FC, of course, going the other way. And this is another big match here in the Caribbean Championships 2017. Of course, the top teams in the groups of 3, the other team involved in this group is Cibao FC. And a few minutes ago, we saw the sporting director of Cibao, Albert Benaiguez, who was hired by Johan Cruyff at Barcelona at some time. He was doing the route. He walked across the entire stadium and was getting his angles right for this one.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of good talent on show here. We saw a fantastic game, the first game. And I'm sure he's looking to see the talent that we have and point them in the right direction.
And Cibao FC, they'll be involved in the next round on Tuesday. And they're just about ready for the start of this one. It is Grenades, the team in green, that'll get us underway. And Central FC, the Trinidad and Tobago champions, they are ready for battle here can they make it a hat-trick of titles in the Caribbean Football Championships, Club Championships in 2017. There is Sherwin Moore of Guyana, experienced referee out of the South American mainland. And a lot of experience also, and he would have certainly benefited from that recent exposure at the under-17 level. It's a quick talk with the match commissioner today, Mr. Bruce Blake of the Cayman Islands, before the start.
It's good to see that we have top quality referees at this level of football. It makes for a better spectacle, you know, for a better show. And they're doing a fantastic job.
There we go. That's the start of the game. It's grenades that get us underway. And immediately they're putting Central under some pressure here. Ball played out towards Rakeem Henry there, number 10. And Central FC, of course, as we mentioned, their pedigree in terms of this competition, 2 titles already. It's an easy old game for them. You enter the competition twice and win it twice.
Yeah, that's a good record from Central. You know the quality that they have in their team. They've got a lot of national players. For example, Carlos Edwards, who is on the ball now. You know, it's good to see that Carlos is still prepared to play, and he's still playing well. He's still making his contribution, and there he is, and it just playing it back to the centre back.
Carlos Edwards still involved at national level, passing on his immense experience. Here is the figure of Nathaniel Garcia, another one of the outstanding young players who will certainly play his part at national level.
You know, and that's a footballing family. You know, I've worked with the younger one, Judah, and what a player he is.
Down the line at that time by Bannister, and the pass played in that time but headed away at the last moment.
That's a nice start, fast start from Central. You know, working the ball around the back, getting it to the right side onto Garcia, and he's another one that creates for them. He likes to play with the ball. Technically, he's a really solid player, and he keeps possession for them.
Central FC, of course, with Keston George, Akinathan, that's Carlos Edwards. Everybody knows him as Carlos, but I've noticed in team sheets recently he's gone by his first name, which nobody knew before, Akinathan, inspired by the name of an Egyptian pharaoh, actually.
He certainly plays like a pharaoh.
Yeah, he certainly is one of those. Very cool, composed player on the ball for Trinidad and Tobago, and all of the teams as he's played with, had wide experience playing in England, of course.
Yeah, Carlos is a high-energy player. He's able to get up and down the line, and he delivers some fantastic crosses.
Nice dummy there by Garcia, and the return pass is not a good one. Meantime, they're taking it the other way. Central, of course, coached by Dale Saunders, former Trinidad and Tobago player. You may have played alongside him for some time.
Yeah, played alongside Dale. A fantastic midfield player, very tenacious he was. But also, you know, never really got credit for his use of the ball. He was really good with maintaining possession first.
He was tenacious on a bad day. On good days, he was far more competitive than that. And Grenades FC, of course, from the island of Antigua. They were established back in 1990 and started off. They're now playing in the Antigua and Barbuda Premier Division. They're based in St. John's, Antigua. Played behind Garcia that time. Just knocked out of play. Bannister involved in the move on the right side. And they certainly are a robust-looking team, Grenades FC.
Yeah, they look like a very physical team. That's certainly how the game has started. You know, they put in a lot of pressure on the ball early on, and they're making their challenges count.
Good run there by Carlos Edwards, who's brought down. That's going to be a free kick. And he read the situation well. A player of his experience, certainly the kind you'll see. And he gets a knock on the left knee that time. But a lot of respect showed towards Carlos Edwards here. And there's a man coming across there that put in the tackle. That was Okeem Challenger.
You know, and that's a good experience from Carlos. He can read the danger. He takes it in his chest. It bumps forward. And he's seeing that he can take it past the midfielder as well. And He's trying to take it into an area where he can have a shot in, but he was brought down. But it's in a good area, that 25, 30 yard area from the goal. You know, you can get it up and down from there.
Sean De Silva is there for this one. And chance here for Central FC perhaps to get an opening goal. There is the whistle. Certainly are taking their time about it. One player moves away. And here's Sean De Silva. Well saved that time. The goalkeeper saw it all the way and made the save moving to his left.
And that's a good free kick from Sean. You know, you must hit the target. He got it up, he got it over, he got it down. And just decided the goalkeeper read it.
In fact, he got there a bit too early. Almost had to reach back in to collect that one. His Challenger. That's a theatric dive from Challenger, but gets nothing from the official. Play down the line, that's offside.
And just bad timing from Meccano. He's watching the run being made forward. Just played a bit earlier, so you can beat the offside trap. But that's good defending from the Grenadiers.
Jason Marcano has been in the TNT Pro League for quite some time. Played for many years at San Juan Jabloteh under Terry Fennick. With Central FC now, that one's cleared away, fortuitously dropping for the Grenades, and they could have a chance here in on goal. The ball squared beautifully, and there's the opening goal, and Grenades have gone ahead. Trevon Harriet has put this one away in the early stages of the game, and Grenades have a shock lead here.
And just completely against the runner play. You know, Carlos made the clearance, it came back off the defender, fell in the path of the number 10, and he just squares it. And it's an easy tap in at the end.
Well, it was aided by a slip in the middle of the park there. It looked like Keston George went down. He just lost his footing at the crucial moment, and that left an easy chance there for Trevon Harriet to put that one away. So in the 6th minute, it is Grenades FC ahead 1-0.
You know, that makes it for a really exciting game. No, we know that Central FC, they must come out and try to score a couple of goals to win this game. And that should make it interesting.
It will be indeed. Here is Central FC getting started. And certainly no one would have expected that they would be the team doing the restart after the first goal. But yeah, Grenades?
Just against the run of play there, you know, they had control of the game. They had control of most of the possession so far, but against the run of play, and that's it, they're behind, and that's football.
Some work there on the far side for Henry, and the ball finally played into touch there. And the team, Grenades FC, quite a few from Antigua and Barbuda, as you would expect. They also have a few Jamaicans involved, Christopher Henry, Christopher Harvey, and Lamar Hodges, number 5 and 6 in defense there, also from Jamaica. So quite a wide Jamaican presence, always good for the Caribbean footballers to be moving around. That's a strong throw in, and that's well taken there. Well claimed by another Jamaican, Richard Thompson, in goal for Central FC.
That's great handling from the goalkeeper. You know, you can see that this team, they've got to play with the ability to throw the ball straight in the box. So you cannot give away too many easy. You just cannot go and kick it out of the park. You need to keep playing. You know, and that is what happened with the defender there. He just came over, knocked it out of the park, and then they defend in a corner.
And for Central Grenades FC, well, they also have Zayas Folius of St. Lucia involved in their team. And they also have an American player in Hakeem Joseph, at least American born. Yes, sir. Taken away here by Central, and they move the other way. Garcia tried to play the return ball that time, but impeded.
It's just good solid defending from the Grenadiers at the minute, you know. They're getting close to play. Anytime the ball is played into the strikers, the defenders are coming with them and just not giving them too much time to play.
Lloyd Bannister involved in this move. Here he is now. Tried to tread it downfield. Bannister with the throw in, but for the moment there were 2 balls on the field, so he had to be pulled up there. Central FC in the grey outfits involved in this game. And Graham Smith, the American player, in the middle of the park for Central FC. It's played in towards Garcia. A lot of work here for the man on the far side. He gets his way and he digs it in nicely, but well taken by the keeper that time, Miko Barrett, another Jamaican keeper. So 2 Jamaican keepers involved in this one.
That was good imagination from Meccano there. He's taking it inside the centre back and he's just trying to flick it over so his forward could run onto it. But that's good reading from the goalkeeper and he got it in.
They certainly have a lot of bodies forward, the Grenades FC team. And those 2 forwards for them, they huge men indeed. And certainly will they take some stopping. Cleared into touch that time by Blake Thompson, another one of the Jamaican contingent involved in this game. A little bit unhappy there is Derek Edwards towards what's going on in this game. His team are ahead 1-0.
Thinking it's his ball, his team's ball.
Marcano with the cross in, but cleared away by Grenades in the last moment. Here's Garcia. Certainly is going to play his part in this one. Down the line to Marcano. Shifty player. Finally gets the ball cutting in. Now up towards Carlos.
They get in a lot of numbers behind the ball. You can see every one of their players in the last third of their half. You know, they get in 11 players behind the ball. When you look at Central FC, they've got 5 players bringing the ball out of the defense, and I just think it's too much players to be bringing it out.
And Garcia with the ambitious shot that time, charged down, and Central have it once again. And the 28 for Central FC is Simil, also of Haiti. So quite an international, or rather Caribbean feel to this one, or CONCACAF if you want to put it that way. With the US player involved, that one's played behind Marcano, and Grenades FC will get it clear. McBurnett, who also plays internationally for Antigua and Barbuda. The shot coming in, but straight at the keeper that time. Sean De Silva there getting involved in this one.
And that's good hands, good gathering from the goalkeeper. You know, but the game plan for the Grenadines team, it's going to plan. You know, they've found themselves in front. They're just sitting in. They're getting it in behind the central defense. And they're making them work. Again, just a long ball from the keeper. He knocks it out for a throw, and they're going to have to defend a long throw again.
And what a long throw he certainly does have. And there is Derek Edwards, the coach for the Grenades FC. Certainly would be happy with his team ahead at the moment. Let's see this long throw again. The captain is number 10, Raheem Henry. That one's played in dangerously once again. And Marcano eventually has to pick up the pieces here for Central FC.
And that's a good delivery into the box there.
And while Grenades might be a bit unfancied here, Russell, whenever they go forward, they're giving a very good account of themselves. They're looking very, very dangerous indeed.
Absolutely. I think they're playing football with a lot of sense. You know, they're playing productive football. They're getting the balls into dangerous areas, and they're trying to get it into the box where they can score. And that's the difference, I think, between the 2 teams. You know, you see Central, they're getting a lot of possession, but they're having it in their half in the middle of the park. It's not really hurting the other team. You know, they're just sitting there and they're saying to us, come and break me down.
And hit you on the break, which they've done successfully already.
You know, they're a physical team and they're defending well.
Played upfield for Simil. Forward run here again by Carlos Edwards. Linking up with De Silva. He gets the return pass and forces a corner here for Central FC. Good play from the 38-year-old Carlos Edwards.
It is amazing to see how much ground that he's still able to cover and how easy he covers this ground. You know, he's playing at left back and he's getting past his right winger to get across in the box to win them a corner.
Previously played for Patna FC. at the lower levels and didn't attract the attention. Here's a foul which has the Grenades player down on the ground, so he's going to get his treatment at the moment here. Carlos Edwards played for Patna Village FC and didn't get to national level until he was on the under-23 team. Certainly not the kind of development that you see for a lot of players now. They come up under the under 15, under 17, under 19 or so, at least here in Trinidad and Tobago. Russell, you've seen a lot of players at under 15 and under 17 level as you're coaching for TNT.
Yeah, you know, a lot of players come through the system and they go through all the age groups. Carlos wasn't one of these players, but it's great that that he developed late, because what a fantastic player he turned out to be for this country.
Played at the World Cup in 2006. Here's the corner by Edwards, and he has to punch there, Barrett. But still, Central have it in the box, and a shot just flashing wide. Marcano was coming in on the end of it, but the shot there by Graham Smith just flashing across the goal mouth that time.
And that's good football there, you know. It's a corner in a dangerous place. The keeper did well. He got it first, he punched it, comes back out at the edge of the area, and Smith just takes it past one defender who's trying to block and hits it. What a good save again.
A second corner for Central FC. There's the signal. Played in towards the penalty area, but headed clear by Grenades FC. So the goal in the 6th minute.
And again, Central is coming out with it. Another good ball. Another good ball from De Silva in the area.
Dangerous in the area towards the man coming out the far side, and he strikes it just wide of the upright. But that was the man coming in, Sean De Silva there, turning up on the right side and flashing his shot across the face of goal.
You know, technically he's a fantastic player. He hits the ball really well. You know, this is an acute angle he's trying to hit it from, but he's trying to get it to dip and just off target, but another lovely strike.
Smith there is beaten in the air, and Grenades FC. Garcia to Marcano, back to Garcia. Good ball out towards the man streaking down the right, and in fact just ahead of him. Thought he would have had the opportunity to get on to that. Was well worked by Central, but the pass slightly overhit.
You know, that's some of the things that you try to teach young players. You know, the winger is coming inside. He's touching it back to the midfield. The wing back is going over. That's lovely interaction, interchanging from these three players on this side. And just overhit the pass a bit, but lovely football.
Lloyd Bannister was the man attempting to track that one down, and he is listed as being born in England. So a real international feeling about this one. Lloyd, there are two English players actually on this squad. Callum Harris is also involved in this one. He's on the substitutes bench. Karanja Mack, the number 13 for Grenades. Now given away to Garcia. What can he do? There's a long ball that he's attempting to play down the line. Cut out that time by the Grenades FC defense.
You know, they're just playing with that solid back four, and they've got two sitting midfielders in front of them, and they're really hard to break down at this present time, especially if you don't move the ball as quick as you should. You know, if you let them come around and give them time to cover, they're going to be hard to break down.
That was a crucial challenge there by Karanja Mack. Just getting a foot in before Central could pull the trigger. Here's De Silva. De Silva once again. Setting the cross in towards the far side, but just too high for the player coming in that time. And unable to direct his header goalward, or at least back towards Jason Marcano, who was in the middle. And that should have been offside.
Yeah. You know, De Silva is going to be very influential in everything that Central does offensively. He plays on the left side. He's right-footed. He comes back on his right foot, and he wants to hit things. He wants to have strikes at goal, and he wants to play these little cute passes for runners and strikers going through. So that was another good ball from him.
Headed in dangerously there, and Richard Thompson had to turn very quickly away from the forward. We talked about players, keepers actually being able to play with their feet. He certainly did well that time. Here it is in towards Garcia. Garcia, that's a poor pass from him. Tried to pick out Marcano with a cutback. Simil. And they sorted out nicely.
Composed defending there. You know, the Grenadiers, they're just playing it forward. The center back just takes it, play it to his other center back, and starts the attack.
Nice play on the far side, but the play is called back for a foul. In fact, for offside that time. The official from this side, Quan Bud.
It's a lovely piece of skill there. Just cutting back on him, but he was offside. Lovely piece of skill.
Just heading up towards the halfway period in this first half. And certainly some worried looking faces on the Grenades FC bench. They are in control, at least on the scoreline here, but the pressure is really coming from Central, who've had a few chances already in the first part of this game.
Yeah, they've scored the only goal, and then Central has been got hold of the game, and they're running the game so far. They've got most of the possession since the 6th minute, I would think, and they're just backing them up.
Nice dummy there, but again by Garcia. Here is Bannister, and the American gets a good pass inside, but they can't link up well. It was a man coming in towards the middle. Couldn't get the pass.
You know, there's just quite a lot of numbers back there, so it's hard to break them down. But every player, they're sitting behind the ball. They're probably in about a 30-meter block there, and it's hard to play in between them. I think you just get the ball wide, and then you play from there.
So the work there for the goalkeeper, Miko Barrett of Jamaica. And he will try to slow down the game as much as possible. His team up with the surprise 1-0 lead here. Harriet scoring in the 6th minute.
Yeah, they've been under some pressure defensively, and I suppose as much time he can take with the ball so they can slow the game down to release the pressure is what he's going to do. And that's just a bad touch from De Silva there. A ball into his feet from Carlos, so he can go 1v1 with the wing back, but just taking his eyes off for it, and it just skips over his legs.
Quieter period of the game here for Grenades FC. Clearly they've set up their shop, Russell. They're looking to just hit on the break. Central FC playing all the football right now.
Yeah, they have most of the ball. As we can see, Central, they're not moving the ball as quick enough to move them about. But saying that, though, it's only 20 minutes gone in the game, so they must be still fresh. But I think if Central can keep hold of the football somewhere in the second part, they would run out of legs, and they might be able to create some openings in behind them. But right at this present time, they're playing in that block between 30-40 meters, and it's really difficult to find spaces in between them, to play in between them or behind them.
Central FC were founded in 2012, becoming the 21st team to join the TNG Pro League here in Trinidad. But the Sharks have adapted well to life in the TNG Pro League, and they've gone from minnows to predators in a very, very short time. And even at the Caribbean level, they have asserted their dominance in this competition.
Absolutely, you know, it's notable what they've achieved in a few short years. You know, winning this competition the way they have on 2 or 3 occasions. It's
good pass in towards Marcano.
Really
it still might be a chance here for Central FC. The back heel did not quite work, and some good work in the middle there for Grenades, and they get it clear eventually. Nice turn in defense there that time by Tariq Sampson. Garcia to Bannister.
And that's some good work from the two centre backs. Just coming out with it against the strikers, playing into midfield and communicating to them to turn out and change sides. You know, there's a lot of numbers behind that ball right there now.
Foul here. Central FC will have the ball in the middle of midfield. And what a game Jason Marcano is having so far in this one.
You know, he's that's the thing about Jason. You know, he never runs from a battle. You know, he's asking for the ball. There's quite a few heavy challenges coming in from behind him, but he still wants to get on the ball. He wants to get into these little pockets, and he wants to help his team try to dominate in offensive areas.
Chance here, the free kick. Wouldn't expect this to be a shot on goal. Garcia involved. Smith is there, and as well as Garcia. And it's Garcia playing it short. Something obviously they've worked on in the training ground. Didn't quite work out for them. Garcia's shot was too far overhead that time.
And it certainly looked like a training ground routine. You know, a free kick from that area. He's trying to play it into the supporting player and get it back, just so he can change the angle of his shot. But fair play to the Grenadines wall. You know, they were out charging early.
Smith out to De Silva. They're appealing for the offside decision. Here is, oh, he's played it far side. They were looking for the pass at the near post. But the cross coming in, and Marcano is also threatening there. Still not clear for Grenades FC, but that was too high and easily claimed by Michael Barrett.
Just a little too close to the keeper. You know, I don't think they've found their range yet, the wide players for Central. You know, De Silva there with his left foot. He's crossing it, and he's just hitting it way too far. It comes to the other winger, and he just couldn't pick out anyone as well.
The other team involved in Group A is Cibao FC. They're from the Dominican Republic, and that is a team that certainly will play their part. We mentioned earlier their sporting director, Benages, who was at Barcelona for 21 years and certainly worked along the likes of players you may have heard about. Andres Iniesta, Gerard Piqué, Victor Valdez, Leo Messi. I think you've heard about him. Jordi Alba and Cesc Fabregas was part of that setup that created some of the greatest players of this generation of modern football. And he was just passing around behind us a few minutes ago.
What category these players that you were mentioning there, you know?
Well, the player went down dramatically.
To work with all of them, you would have done fantastically well.
And there is, that's Stern John there, former national player, as Grenades. Well, that's a good run here by McBurnett, and eventually it is a goal kick, comes to nothing, but good speed shown by McBurnett. He hasn't had much room to attack in this game so far. He's been pressed a lot in terms of his defensive duties.
You know, I'm looking at this team play, you know, and they're not flashy. You know, technically, you're not seeing anybody doing anything out of this world, but they're a solid team in their structure defensively. They're getting a lot of players behind the ball. They're not giving Central any room to play in attacking areas, and they're playing on the counter-attack, and they're making themselves very hard to break down. Very hard to break down, you know. I hope that Coach Dean Saunders has a little extra something on the bench, because I think he's going to need it. The way this team is defending, if Central doesn't get back in it, then it can become very hard, and time could run away on them.
Defensively well organized. Here's another good run. What speed. Wow, that is an amazing run here by Mack, and he sends a poor cross in. But what a run by Mack. Antigua may not be known for their sprinters, but certainly they missed out on this guy.
Absolutely. You know, you can see that they're playing with a lot of heart, a lot of courage, but just the wrong decision there. He did all the hard work. He's taking the ball from in his own half. He's taking it 40 meters. And just at the end, instead of having a little bit of composure to take it further, he just has a shot from 25. Nowhere close on target.
Garcia with the cross in. Oh, that almost came off the chest of the defender and into the net there. Lamar Hodges was the man, the Jamaican, who made the clearance for Grenades FC. Corner for Central FC.
That's just good attacking play from Central. They just did things a little quicker. Garcia first time with the cross, and Meccano nearly at the end of it.
Shot coming in, but charged down once again. That has been the motif so far of this Grenades team. They're just getting the foot in at the right moment here. Just about the 30-minute mark gone. And here is another chance for one of the Grenades players to run at this one. The man running that time at it was McBurnett, and forces a throw in.
There's a couple of quick players for the Grenades team, and they're just playing on counter-attack. They're forcing Central to come and attack them, and there's a lot of space behind them, and they're just playing it in behind there, and then it's to the races. They've won another throw-in, and we know that they've got this guy who's putting it all the way in the box, so Central needs to do some defending.
Throw in now for Grenades FC. Mack is not going to collect this one, but in fact it's a throw in for Grenades once again. And Central FC will certainly fancy their chances of moving on past this tournament. Simil with the clearance that time.
You know, on the evidence we've seen so far, they certainly have the ability to move on in this group. But they're going to have to work for it tonight. You know, this team that they're playing against, they're well organized defensively. They're willing to sacrifice. They're throwing their bodies in the way of shots. They're blocking everything at this present time. And they've got a free kick on the top of Central's box.
Another chance here. If they can get a second goal, that would certainly be an outstanding moment for them. Stefan Smith is one of the players involved. Also there is Christopher Harvey. Lamar Hodges also there. And they had the opening goal with Harriet scoring in the 6th minute. And he's placing the ball carefully. Of course, you want to get the valve in the right position to get the dip here, Russell. Oh, that one, he skied it. Obviously, the valve wasn't in the right position.
Yeah.
Stefan Smith has hit that one like Chris Gale hitting a straight drive.
That definitely wasn't what he meant to do. You know, that was a goal and a rugby goal there. But I think he's just trying to get over it and whip it, and a good contact.
Central will be fancying their chances of moving on. The winner of this tournament gets an automatic bid to the newly revamped CONCACAF Champions League, which begins in May 2018. The 3 of the teams advance to the new CONCACAF League in August with a chance to qualify for the 2018 CONCACAF Champions League. So a lot at stake for these players.
You know, and you can see again, you know, everybody's behind the ball.
Their defensive organization has been immaculate so far. Central have managed with their quality to prize open a few chances, but they really haven't gotten anybody in the end of these chances to get the goals.
You know, they're just not being able to keep the ball at this present time here, Central.
Stefan Smith just running through his man that time. He's a big unit, Stefan Smith.
They all are.
Well, not the kind.
A few big boys there in this team.
Yeah, not the kind of guy you want to quarrel with in any time. Another challenge here, and another Central player going down. And once again, the very expressive Derek Edwards not too happy with the call, but a free kick here for Central FC.
I'm not sure if it's the call or if it's this player he's not happy with. You know, he's taking a touch, he's not going anywhere, he's knocking it off the field, and he's committing a needless foul. So Central, De Silva has a chance to put in another telling cross in the box.
A little bit of contact in the box already. And that one's headed away by the man at the first post. But Central will take it over. Edwards for Central FC. Headed away once again. They always seem to be having someone in green in the right position here. Central crowded out.
Yeah, and they're just getting their bodies in the way. They're not afraid of it at all. They're blocking things. They're showing real desire to hold on to this 1-0 lead.
Ball is with Michael Barrett of Jamaica, the goalkeeper for Grenades FC. And they've had quite a story themselves, Grenades FC. Formed back in 1990. And when they were reorganized as Grenades, oh, that's a heavy tackle. And that is going to need some sorting out here, because both players, well, coming in there with the high foot that time, the man going down, but it looked like the foul was committed firstly by Paulius.
I think the referee has his card out there. I think the ball just came in a way that the two players were entitled to challenge for it. They had to go high on it. The ball is bouncing. Unfortunately, the Grenadiers player is coming out with a yellow card.
Zayas Paulius is the man who has to go into the referee's notebook, the first man for this game. But his team continues to have the 1-0 lead. They're looking a bit more relaxed on the Grenades FC bench right now. As I mentioned, they were not originally called Grenades, but they started off in the Antigua and Barbuda League, the second division, and have now gone all the way up to the Premier Division. Carlos Edwards to Marcano. He's onside this time. Two men in the middle. Can he get the cross in towards them? Immediately, it's a green wall that has been funneled in. Here's the ball played in towards the back post, and the keeper flapped at it, missed it. Still alive here for Central FC. And there is the equalizing goal, and Jason Marcano in the 38th minute. Outstanding stuff there. Volleys at home.
And what a finish from Marcano. You know, again, I thought that he held on to it too long. He should have put it in the box earlier, but when he finally did, and it came back on the right side and it came to him, what a composed finish it was. What a lovely volley. Must be good communication there, because there's a play in front of it. He just ducks his head, leaves it for Jason, and perfect contact on the ball. No chance for the goalie.
I'll tell you what, the marking by Grenades FC wasn't very special at that time. There were two Central players in a position to put that one home, and there was no one within a few meters of them. Certainly not what you'd want at the heart of your defense.
You know, I think just in this seat, there are a couple of big boys. I think Central has just intensified the rhythm of the game a little bit, and it might be telling on some of these players when they're just defending. It's hard work sometimes, and they were just late to get back in their positions there.
Central FC completed their victory in the TNT Pro League a few months ago, so they haven't played consistent football for the past 2 months, but have adapted well here. And in addition to not having played for the last 2 months, they've also have not played any part in this competition so far. They got an automatic bye into this round of the competition as champions, and that was to allow one of the teams from Puerto Rico to get involved in the competition.
Yeah, you know, they're not playing as though they're rusty. There's one or two things I think they need to sharpen up on. I think they need to move the ball a little quicker. I think the forward movements from the strikers need to improve. just a little bit to create more chances. But I think they're playing well.
Corner here for Grenades FC. Rakeem Henry was the man forcing the corner. It's going to be taken here by Okeem Challenger. And they certainly have committed quite a few bodies forward. And can they get a second goal here? Grenades FC.
You know, they're a big physical team, and I'm sure that they worked a lot on their dead balls, you know. And here it is, 6 of them in the box.
Swung in towards the near post, cleared away by Central FC. Sean De Silva was the man closest there. What a run here. Oh, he's brought down. Well, the player just
deem it a foul.
He hasn't called out a foul, but that was certainly looked like there was some contact there. If I were the player, I would be a little bit perturbed by that. Cleared away by Central. Headed back into the mixer by the player coming in.
And I think Central will be coming back on level terms. They definitely taking control of this game.
Long ball played in towards Jason Marcano, but hit too long for the goal scorer. Scored in the 38th minute. Harriet had the opening goal for Grenades in the 6th minute. So 1-1. They've re-established parity in this one, Central FC.
And again, it's a big header from Carlos. Just a little ambitious from Jason there. He was able to keep himself on side and come out with the ball, but just trying to have a pop from Tete and never really caught it.
It is Central FC in the grey outfits against Grenades in the green. And Garcia, who handled the ball a few minutes ago, has had a pretty good game so far. But Central FC, perhaps a little bit unlucky to go behind. Good goal by Grenades FC. A lucky bounce that went in the way of the striker. And a slip in the middle of it. Here's a good pass towards Garcia. And 2 players going down. And referee Moore is saying that there was no contact. Well, the Central bench all got up in unison there. They felt that was a penalty, but no call from the official.
It definitely looked a Stonewall penalty to me. I think from the time he was in offside, then I think it's definitely a penalty. You know, there was no contact with the ball, and there was certainly contact with the player.
Well, Stern John is bemused by that there, Russell. There was clear contact that time. And it's a bit of a mystery why that is not a penalty for Central FC.
You know, we know that, you know, the referees, they're making decisions in a very short time, in split seconds. And just probably got caught there, but certainly a penalty there.
There's a hint that the player was actually in an offside position, so that would explain why he.
But the referee let it play because he eventually gave a throw in. So a bit bizarre that decision there.
So we'll see. I guess if we could talk to the referee after that, he will explain that one. But Central FC complaints here for a clear penalty. Smith to Garcia, back to Smith. Tried to play the sweeping ball out to Burnett. And some complaints from the assistant coach there. Hung up at the far post. This could drop nicely for De Silva. There's a player coming in who could have the shot. What a goal! Carlos Edwards has put Central FC ahead with a pile driver in the 44th minute. What a goal by Edwards.
And what a strike it was, you know. That's great work from De Silva. Again, Central is starting to dominate the game. They're getting balls in wide areas now. The defender didn't clear it properly. And De Silva just teed up Carlos Edwards. And what a strike it was. There was no chance for the goalie there.
Shades of your setup for Kerry Jameson back in the 1988-89 qualification tournament, but what a shot by Carlos Edwards. He's always had an eye for goal, despite his defensive positions. He's always had an amazing shot on him. There was a goal that he scored for Luton Town some years ago that was voted the goal of the tournament. 2 minutes of time added on for stoppages, and a real dagger blow here for Central FC, scoring to go 2-1 ahead just before the break.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic time to get your nose in front. We know the Grenades, they were playing well, they were defending well, but the reality is when you play that way, you really don't know how long you can hold out for. And it's perfect timing from Central. They're getting the 2 goals back, and now they're 1 goal up, and they can dominate the game. They can keep possession of the football again.
They can certainly express themselves. Just seconds away from the end of the first half. What a turnaround we've had in the last 7 minutes or so. Smith finds Garcia. Now to Bannister.
Garcia's been brilliant this half.
Certainly has been.
He's covering a lot of ground. He's just finding himself in these little pockets like he is now. And there he is taking it again in these little pockets.
Bannister is offering himself for the move. But back to Smith. Here's Garcia once again. Now he finds Bannister. Certainly has some chalk on his boots. Plays it in towards Marcano. Well taken by Marcano. And can he get the cross in? Here's Bannister, and he overhits the cross by a long way.
You know, and he just that's good play from Central. But you need a cross there that is going to give your players a chance to get on the end of it. You know, he's just overcooking them all the time there, and it's a waste for all the good work that they've been doing.
There is the end of the first half, and at the end of it, it is Central FC, the home team, that has a 2-1 lead. A goal just seconds before the half by Carlos Edwards. What a real pile driver that is, that put Central FC ahead 2-1. Harriet had put Grenades ahead in a shock lead in the 6th minute, but it was Jason Marcano that tied it up in the 38th minute. Central 2-1 ahead in this one, Russell.
Yeah, fantastic performance. I think, again, it's a cage effort, 2 different styles. Grenades, they scored the early goal. They were just sitting back, inviting pressure, and it didn't last the way they played. Central were able to come and get a couple of goals.
Let's take a look at how things have gone in the first half. Central going ahead 2-1. Referee Sherwin Moore would play his part in his game. Central had the better of the exchanges early on in this one. Sean De Silva getting the early chance.
Yeah, it's a good effort from De Silva. You know, you get it up and over, just couldn't get it hard enough.
And then there was the opening goal, a slip in crucially in the center of defense by Central, and it was slotted in by Harriet in the 6th minute.
I think he was marking him well. He was goal side of him. He just slipped there and couldn't regain his footing.
Jason Marcano had a good first half, and while Central FC got in some shots in on goal, they came close, but nobody could apply the finishing touch. Sean De Silva having another one that flashed wide. Here's one from the training ground, but Garcia skying his effort.
And again, that's a nice early ball in from Garcia that created some problems. And that was a poorly executed free kick.
And this one, the ball not cleared in time. And that was the challenge that certainly won a yellow card for Paulius.
You know, they both going for the ball. They both have their feet up. Yeah, both entitled to go for it there.
And then Jason Marcano with an outstanding finish to level matters in the 38th minute.
And what a finish it was from Marcano. That's great communication. He just lights down on it. He doesn't try to hit it hard. He just wants clean contact, and it's past the goalkeeper.
And then, of course, here's the go-ahead goal. It was Carlos Edwards with a really rocket of a strike and sends it in. And that has given Central a 2-1 lead. Marcano and Edwards, the goal scorers, along with Harriet. So that is the score at halftime in this Caribbean Club Championship 2017 match. Central FC leading Grenades FC 2-1. Welcome back to second half coverage of San Juan Jablonete versus, the second half coverage of Central FC versus Grenades FC. It is Central FC that lead Grenades FC 2-1 in this one in the second half. Goals by Edwards and Marcano, 38th and 45th minute, that cancelled out and put Central ahead after Harriet had put Grenades FC ahead. So, Russell, it's going to be an interesting second half. Grenades can no longer afford to defend. They have to come out and play some football here.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, it's important that the first game in any competition like this, that you want to win it, and it takes pressure off the other games. So I would think, you know, they've got one of two choices, really. They can come out and make a game of it and try to go and win it. They can no longer sit back and soak up the pressure because Central would just keep the ball off of them all day and run down the clock. Or I think the other option that they have, you know, they're going to try to keep it at 2-1 the way it is. And I would think maybe last 10, 15, 20 minutes, they make some changes. They throw some offensive players on and try to get something out of it.
Those are the options on the bench for Central, for Grenades FC. For Central FC, you certainly wouldn't want to change much right now with the team in the ascendancy.
And definitely not. You know, I would think pretty much after the 6th minute, Grenades FC, they dropped off. And Central, they've been in control of the game. They've been keeping the ball, they've been probing, they've been going side to side. They're getting the balls into wide areas now to De Silva, and he's starting to come through. He's starting to create. He's starting to get crosses in the box, and they're getting players in the box to get on the end of crosses too. So 2 lovely goals from them, and deservedly they're ahead in this game.
The official for today, referee Sherwin Moore of Guyana. Certainly he was on the microscope just before the Central team went ahead 2-1. It was a controversial call that where he turned down a penalty where it really seemed that there was contact, and huge contact at that, with the Central FC player.
Yeah, I thought it was a stonewall penalty. I think the referee got that decision wrong. But fair play to Central. They got on with it, and they were able to get their nose in front by keeping concentrated on the present atmosphere of the game and keeping the pressure on.
No changes for Grenades FC so far in as they go into the second half. For Central FC, no changes at all, and that is the way it is for the second half in this game. Central FC in the grey outfits and Grenades FC in the green. They're doing battle here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium with Central ahead 2-1. This is Group A action in the Caribbean Club Championship 2017. Just waiting for the signal for the start, and there it is. Sherwin Moore gets us underway. It is Central attacking the goal to our left, and Central FC, the 2-time champions of the Caribbean Club Championships, looking to make it a hat-trick of wins in this competition. No team has been able to do that so far. Such is the richness of this competition.
Yeah, it's a difficult competition to win. You know, you're getting the best talented teams from all around the Caribbean, and to win it 3 times, you know, you need a lot of consistency, and it's difficult to maintain it all the time.
Marcano had a very good first half and scored. De Silva trying to take it away from the defender that time.
He's done well to hold on to it. And Central, they're just moving the ball around again, trying to create space. The Grenadines, they're dropping all their players still way behind the ball. And Central, they're just knocking it back between the 2 centre-backs and just trying to open and create space.
Well, a good ball that time from Simil, the defender for Central FC. And earlier, just after the first game, the coach of the other Trinidad and Tobago team involved in this one, San Juan Jablonete, Keith Jeffrey, said that he wanted to see both of the TNT teams getting through to the final, and I'm sure he'd relish a chance to get a crack at Central FC once again.
Yeah, you know, the both teams from Trinidad, they certainly have the quality where they can get through at this level. But that's another good play from Makano there. He's taking it, turning on the defender, getting wide and trying to get it in the box. Just a little too close to the goalie.
Teams from Trinidad and Tobago have contested the final of this event 8 times in 19 years, which just shows the dominance of the TNT teams in this competition. And San Juan Jabalti and Central FC would certainly want to see that happen on home soil here at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. But there are some very good teams in this competition, including Portmore United, who we've not seen yet, and Cibao FC. Their team in the stadium today, looking on and just getting a sighting of their opponents for this game.
Yeah. We know that Jamaican teams are normally very physical teams, very strong teams. They normally have very good individual players. So it would be interesting to have a look at them on Tuesday to see what is their strengths and weaknesses. But I would certainly say that based on the performances of Sawa Jabalti and Central now, it is very capable that that the 2 Trinidad teams can go far in this tournament.
Who will the final 2 teams be? 21 entered. Who is going to go to the finals? That will be decided over the next few days here in Port of Spain. All the matches taking place at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Long ball, well defended that time. Again by Tyreek Sampson. This gets a foot in at the crucial moment.
And that's he's keeping his eye on the ball. He's going to make sure that he gets it before it drops. And again, that's good defending there.
Carlos Edwards, Sean De Silva combining on the left side. And
you
De
know,
Silva,
it's still amazing video to see Carlos. You know, he's still working his way forward in front of the winger, and he's still working his way back as well.
Well, that's a good ball over, but it was not great speed shown by Rencel Simil, the Haitian player who's campaigning for Central FC. That's the second time we've seen one of the Antiguan players from Grenades FC just race past him.
Yeah, that's a good covering from the other centre back. You know, but he was just a bit slow in reading it. Ball over his head. He had to turn and chase it, and the player just went past him.
5th minute of the second half, and no scoring yet, but not for the want of trying so far. Grenades have come out looking for this goal that will tie up proceedings here. The ball played out towards Richard Pierre. Here, and Marcano is onside here. De Silva is screaming in towards the center, and Marcano plays it to the far post. That skies his effort. Well, how did that go over bar? It is a goal kick. Somehow he got on in under that and put it over bar.
That's a great challenge from the defender as well. You know, the ball is going past him, and he's just showing the desire to get his body in the way. And I think he just showed off De Silva there. What a challenge from the defender to throw him off.
Great challenge indeed, and he did just enough there, Paulius, to prevent what would have been a disastrous 3rd goal for Central FC. And if Grenades go a further goal down, you really don't see a way back for them in this game. They really must be the team to get the next goal.
Yeah, I would think that if Central go ahead in the game now, then the Grenades, they would be forced to make offensive changes. You know, we thought there was only 1 or 2 things they can do. Either they throw on players and make a game of it, or they sit back. They're doing the latter by sitting back and letting Central come at them, and they're giving them the initiative.
Stern John, the former Trinidad and Tobago player, certainly a bit happier with the proceedings, the assistant coach there, shouting out the instructions. Of course, one of the outstanding goal scorers in global football history with 70 goals. He's still up in the top 10 of international scorers.
Yeah, I'm sure he's having a word with De Silva there. We're commenting about it's a good challenge, but I'm sure he's saying to him that if you're going to make good contact with the ball in the 6-yard box, you need to hit the target.
That's right. He knows a thing or two about goal scoring. He just had about 7 goals to tie with Pelé in the all-time list, and if he had played a bit longer, I'm sure he would have gotten there too.
Definitely, you know, what an amazing goal scorer he's been for this country. You know, I've seen him score all kind of goals for us, and And I hope that some of the younger players coming up today, you know, can learn a thing or two from the things he's shown us in the past.
Some running repairs for the Grenades player. Okeem, a challenger, had to get the magic spray out for him, the technical staff. And Garcia being harassed there.
You know, again, video you've seen, they're just dropping all their players way back in their half. And they kind of inviting the pressure onto them. You know, and Central, they're doing really well by keeping the pressure on and being able to box them in the defensive third.
Nicely played there that time by Keston George, skipper of the Central team. Central in the grey outfits. Here's Graham Smith of the USA playing for Central FC. George, good pass out towards De Silva. Yes, Carlos Edwards in attendance just behind him. Here's Edwards now coming into the play. Nicely done by Edwards once again. Cross in towards the far post. Headed away for the moment. Garcia picks up the scraps.
You know, and they're totally boxed in now. They cannot get out, you know. They're just giving it back to Central when they get it. And Central, they're just keeping them in there. And so far, the way they're playing, you know, it's merited third goal they're playing so far.
Wonderful play here for De Silva, but can't get the cross in that he wanted towards Jason Marcano. And collected easily that time by Barrett in goal for Grenades FC.
You know, Central, they're getting a lot of joy down this left side with Edwards and De Silva here, you know. They're completely dominating the left side of the game at this present time, and they're creating a lot of chances.
De Silva's performances earned him some call-ups for the national senior team for Trinidad and Tobago. That one is collected well, and he backed up well there, Barrett.
And again, a good idea there. He's seen De Silva alone at the last post. He's trying to whip it past him, just a little too close to the goalkeeper.
Paulius taking the ball into the midfield. He has a yellow card to his name after a very rash challenge in the first half. Here is Smith, ball forward, and Paulius there, the tackle on Smith this time, and he went down. And he certainly doesn't hold back when it comes to challenges. A first change here for Grenades, and the change has been made. Hodges, Lamar Hodges, the defender, is coming off, and in his place, number 23, that is Ranger Christian. Ranger Christian is on for Grenades, and another one of the players from Antigua for this team.
I think he's just made a street switch, a right back for a right back. Like we said before, you know, Carlos and De Silva, they're getting a lot of joy down this left side. You know, they were running the legs off of the right back. I think he was a bit winded there, a bit tired. And the coach just went a straight swap, right back for right back.
So Hodges is out of the picture now, but there will be a lot of work being done here by Ranger Christian. Marcano threatening once again, and almost given away. In fact, it's now given away to Marcano, trying to weave his magic, and that he's carrying the shot there poorly in the end. And that seems to be an unlucky spot. All of the shots from that area have been skied.
That's just a little more composure there from Marcano. You know, he's picking it up in a wide area. He's doing the correct thing by going to the middle of the goal. He just doesn't hit the target. He's going for power. I'm thinking if he just hits the target, make the goalkeeper work there, then he would have done the right thing.
No teams from Puerto Rico involved in the last phase of this tournament. However, the Dominican Republic are represented by Cibao FC. And they certainly are an unknown entity for many of these teams. I'm not sure how many of the Trinidad and Tobago and teams would have played against teams from the Dominican Republic. Of course, the Dominican Republic, they have contributed some players in the TNT Pro League over the years.
Yeah, they've had some great players representing in this league. You know, just thinking about them from years back. You know, they're a team that wants to play football. They likes to play football. I think they would be a technical team. So I'm looking forward to seeing them as well.
Giveaway, which Marcano might profit from. He can link up with Carlos Edwards here. That's great play by Marcano, sending it into the middle and headed away for the moment. De Silva is there. George Trying to link up that time with Pierre. Garcia back into the center, headed away once again. Smith gives it away and then handles the ball. So free kick for Grenades FC, and that certainly would ease the pressure on them.
Yeah, again, and it's sensible play from Smith. You know your defensive midfield. If you get caught high up the park, then there's a straight line running at your defender. So it's a smart fall from him.
Young Englishman Callum Harris is going to be introduced in this game, and Callum Harris, number 44, and he is going to replace the American player Graham Smith. So Smith, he has earned his pay tonight, has had a good shift so far, and his handle ball the last bit of contribution for him in this game. There's a central player going down, and the tempers are boiling over a little bit for Grenades FC as the TNT champions here exerting the that's a good control show there by Dale Saunders.
He's still got his touches.
Yeah, so he does have the touch. Control with the outside of the right foot, showing his players that he can still do the business. Always great to have a coach who's been a top player at his level. Certainly when you think of Real Madrid and the likes of Zinedine Zidane, I mean, who better to praise you than one of the greatest players ever?
Barcelona, Luis Enriquez. You know, it's fantastic players who have gone into coaching, and they're doing really well at their respective jobs. Again, De Silva is going into field, you know, and he's playing a nice little ball there to Meccano, a little reverse pass.
Meccano picks it up. He's always going to be busy there, but Richard Pierre had turned his back on the play and couldn't get in on the end of that. Pierre from Haiti. So it's a real challenge for Central, given the nationality of the players. You have two Haitian players in the team, so they can speak a little bit of English with helps, and that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen too many of the Haitian players involved in the TNT Pro League. And
I've been really impressed with Meccano today. You know, he's showing for the ball, he's holding it up well for Central. He's allowing the midfield players to be able to get forward and support the play.
Great run there by Carlos Edwards, but Meccano's pass undid the entire sequence, and that's Polius with the long ball forward to no one in particular. And Richard Thompson,
you know, they haven't
not the sprinter, of course.
Yeah, Richard, they haven't so much of the ball, Central FC, you know, and I think another goal is going to come soon. You know, they're wearing down the Grenades team.
Almost gave it to Meccano there, who is making a nuisance of himself, and eventually they get it clear, Grenades FC.
I think Nathaniel Garcia, he's had a fantastic game tonight as well. You know, he's not afraid to get on the ball. He wants the ball. He wants to play with the ball. And, you know, he's one of these players who doesn't lose the ball a lot. So whenever he's got it, it is in his team's possession.
A rare misplayed pass by Carlos Edwards. And with even with his advancing age, he still looks the part. Maybe not quite as fast as he was before, but experience certainly has given him the wisdom to know where to step in and where to stay out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. His experience, you know, he isn't running as much as he used to, but he's still quite as effective as he used to. He knows how to use positions on the field. He's just getting into the right areas, and he's walking into spaces now, not necessarily running to them.
Shot in from the new man has come on, but he skies his effort that time. Callum Harris.
Just a little ambitious there, Callum, you know. You've got the right back going down the side of you. He is free. Just give him the ball, support it from the back. If the cross comes in and it comes back to you, you can finish. Don't be hitting it from 30.
Garcia rising well that time. Harris, not so well. Falls to the earth. Headed away by Simil that time.
That's good experience from Meccano. You know, he's on the blank side of the defender. The defender doesn't know where he is, and he just pinches us from him.
Defender going for safety first this time and conceding the throw in for Central FC.
again, they're just boxing them in. You can see a lot of play from the Grenades FC. Their hands are on their hips. You know, they've been working really hard to get the ball back.
A chance here for Central, and saved by the keeper. He dropped on it nicely, Barrett, that time. But two Central players were wriggling with the ball, managed to prize themselves free, and getting the shot in on goal.
Good link-up play from Meccano. They just got in each other's way there, and couldn't get the shot off quick enough.
The Central FC player, Richard Pierre, is going to be withdrawn, the number 42. And in his place, Johan Peltier. And he's coming on. I'm sure that the Carénage faithful would be happy with that. Of course, his older brother played for Trinidad and Tobago for a few years. His last time would have been that Gold Cup loss to Panama.
You know, he's a quick, exciting player, just like his older brother. You know, I think that if chances fall to him and they create a few chances, he's the type of player who can put it away.
One of three brothers who play football. Played back in towards the man Callum Harris, who gets a shot in on goal, but it's blocked away once again. Silva in attendance. Back in towards Garcia. It's linking up the play between the flanks nicely. Shot in on goal, but straight at the goalkeeper this time, and easily saved by Barrett. And Derek Edwards, the coach of the Grenades, not being too happy with the way things have gone for his team in the second half, but they really must get this next goal if they are to keep in contention in this game. You would fear that a 2-goal gap might be too much for them.
You know, you're just seeing a bit of lack of quality from them. They're just running out the ideas a bit once they get into certain areas.
That's a poor tackle there on De Silva, and he's lucky to escape a yellow card there, Ranger Christian. In fact, he doesn't. Has a brief word with the official, and Ranger Christian has become the second player from Grenades FC to go into the referee's notebook. And Grenades are going to make a second change here. Off is Okeem Challenger, and on in his place is Hakeem Joseph, one of the US-based players for Grenades FC.
I think this was an obvious change as well. You know, Central FC, they're having most of the ball. And Challenger, he's quite a big guy. You know, they're asking him to do a lot of kilometers in the middle of the park there. And he just got overrun in the second part of this game.
That's where Central have dominated, managed to keep it in play that time. Is the skipper Rakeem Henry, but no avail as Central take over possession once again. Edwards with the long diagonal ball. Didn't quite get the header that time. Is Johan Peltier.
No, but again, another intelligent ball from Carlos. You know, he wasn't going to take any chances at the back. He plays it forward. His team can reorganize and play from behind the ball again.
Grenades player has gone to ground. That's why the throw-in is not being taken at the moment. And the man who's gone down is Blake Thompson, the Jamaican who plays in the defensive position for Grenades FC. And I think he indicated there that it might be a hamstring. Or, yes, in fact, it's a calf injury.
Looks like a calf. You know, defensively, you know, they don't have the ball a lot. They're trying to play in the counter-attack. So they've got a lot of work to do chasing the ball around. You know, Central, they're dominating in midfield now. They're coming down the sides. And that's a lot of covering that these two centre-backs has to do. So with this ball that was played forward, jumping to head the ball with young Peltier, I think his calf just got tight.
Sherwin Moore there, the referee, signaling that he wanted the stretcher, but apparently no one saw the signal, and he had to, in frustration, signal once again to the medical staff to come on. We haven't had too much intervention from them, but the two officials now on, and they'll be carting off the player, Blake Thompson.
You know, he's had a good game, Blake Thompson. I suppose his coach wouldn't want to lose him. He's been steady at the back there. He's quick enough. He's chasing Meccano. He's been covering his other centre back and his wing back. So I think he's quite an important player for him, and his coach will want to see him back on as quick as possible.
A few instructions being passed on to some of the players at the half line, and Paulius is one of those involved in this game. He has the yellow card to his name along with Ranger Christian. None of the Central players have been booked in this game so far. Carlos Edwards forward to De Silva. Audacious pass back to Carlos Edwards. Here is Harris. Sybil.
For the way that that Central is dominating this game so far, they really need to get another goal. You know, it's just a weird kind of result. Sometimes 2-1, it's just not enough, and anything can happen. A slip like what happened in the first goal. So you really need to make the dominance that you have in count in goals.
So they would want the benefit of that 2-goal cushion. But not many clear-cut chances so far in the second half for them. Harris tried to get that towards Bannister, but came off the back of the player. In fact, Peltier is out there also. And just to mention that Johan Peltier's older brother, Lester Peltier, Horn Curls as they call him here, not for obvious reasons. And he was involved in the Trinidad and Tobago team, was not selected after that penalty miss against Panama. He went to Twitter and said that perhaps it's time to retire, but is not officially retired. It's still very much available for selection. Played a lot of times in Eastern Europe.
I think all young players wants to represent their country. You know, you look at Carlos Edwards and you know that if you're capable and you can still do a good job, then you should give the national coach the opportunity to select you. I'm sure Lester at some point would get involved with the national team if selected, because he can be a big asset for us.
I'm sure that Johan's mother is going to be here. She always comes to their games in support of her sons. And back on the field is Blake Thompson. Seems to have shaken off that injury, and he should be all right to continue for the rest of the game. He's had a torrid time with Jason Marcano looking around. And if anybody has lived up to the Sharks' name, it is Jason Marcano. He's that predatory sort of player. He just seems to hang around there, and when he explodes into action, all sorts of bad things can happen for the opposing team.
I think he's led the line really, really good tonight. You know, he's always a player who's going to work really hard. I mean, if you look at him now, he's chasing down the goalkeeper. I just think that Central needs to be more clinical. I need to take another chance before this game gets away from them.
Grenades continuing to fight here. Certainly has not been the cricket score that many would have been expecting. It's still only 2-1, and they're still very much in this game. And they got out of a difficult group. There's two players getting in each other's way there, but Peltier going to get the cross in. It's deflected, and that is going to be a corner here for Central FC.
Again, just getting in each other's way. Suppose if we didn't do that, one could be getting in the middle of the goal to get at the end of the cross, you know. It's the second time it's happened, and just a bit of lack of communication there to maybe just a bit of anxiety to get the third goal.
Last 20 minutes of the game coming up. Central FC leading 2-1. If they can get the third goal here, it might severely damage the resolve of Grenades FC. Hooked in towards the top of the box where Keston George was not quite ready for it. Sybil with the chance of the shot here. Manages to get it back eventually. Here is Garcia. Out towards Harris. The ball back into the center and overhit once again. At times the quality of the final ball has not been quite so good from Central FC. Garcia fighting off the challenge. Here's Marcano. Okay, he thought about the shot here for a moment. Here is Harris. De Silva with a jinking run. Marcano with a shot, and it goes wide.
And again, that's some good attacking play from Central FC between De Silva and Marcano. And again, we're just asking that if you're in the area, if you're 12 yards out, then you need to make the goalkeeper work. You need to hit the target. You know, these are the chances or half chances that Central is getting that I think if they take one of these, it will put the game to bed.
As a player.
There's a change going to be made. I think Blake Thompson
they're calling,
is going to come
yeah,
off.
they're calling for the substitute to here because it seems that the injury is a very serious one. The player is indicating he can take no further part in the game.
You know that you're going to see a lot of them with little nicks and little cramps here. I think what is happening is that the intensity that they're playing at, you know, Central isn't giving them a minute. They're running at them. And if they're not used to playing at that intensity, it's going to be a bit hard for them. They are working hard. They are dedicated. You know, they're showing the desire to want to win the game and work hard. But it's just a little too much for them at the minute.
Well, the speedy Karanja Mack is the player who went down, and he is injured. He will play no further part in the game. And the youngster Shakiba Williams is on the field for him. Another one of the players born in Antigua playing for the team here. So Shakiba Williams on 15 on for 13. Karanja Mack, he will take the early shower in this one. So
there
Central.
we go again. Central just winning it in midfield. You know, they're getting a lot of numbers around them in midfield there.
Garcia just getting a foot in at the right moment. It could have been true there for a moment there. Grenades FC. Here is Harris to De Silva. Back to Harris. And the pass does not find De Silva. And Grenades will just hack it clear. Clear the lines at the moment.
You know, and they're going to feel it if they play like that. You know, easy possession there. You can walk out with the ball and try to make a pass. He just knocks it out of the field. And there they go defending again. They're giving Central back the ball. And it's going to become increasingly harder for them as the game goes along because they're not passing the ball. They're just hacking it out.
Harris to Peltier. Peltier has Harris for company. Can he get the cross in? Oh, and another player going down. It looks like Blake Thompson has gone down again with a little bit of cramp here. He's still limping and it cannot quite get going. But in the meantime, Central continue. Garcia takes it down nicely in the midfield.
And he's had a fabulous game tonight, Garcia. He's just picking up everything in the midfield. He's playing from behind the ball at this present time. And he's just playing it simple, keeping it ticking over.
Harris is out there as Carlos Edwards just checking back. Never seems to hurry at all, Carlos Edwards. Well in control of what he's doing. Just signaling to his players that there should have been someone running down the right side.
And that is good experience from Carlos. He's just keeping the youngsters right and telling them where they need to play. You know, he's saying to young Peltier, you're getting too far ahead of the ball. If I'm coming across the field with it, you need to be in a wide position.
Cross coming in towards Marcano, but cut out by the Grenades defense. Can they take it the other way? Can they get a telling attack in here? Just over 14 minutes to go in this one.
And it's a
That's
good
gonna
call
be a
from
yellow
Garcia,
card.
but it's a yellow card this time here, you know. He just got caught on the wrong side of the defender, and he uses his hands to stop him.
So Garcia taking one for the team that time. Central leading 2-1 going into the final 14 minutes of this game.
You know, again, Central, they're working the ball well. They're getting into the wide areas. They're just not delivering good crosses. It's either it's overhit or they hit the first man. You know, the only proper cross that they got penalty spot was the one that Makano was able to get at the end of, and that was 1-1.
So right now it's Carlos Edwards' thunderous drive into the corner of the net that has Central ahead here. Grenades. They haven't been much of a force so far. They've played a higher line and trying to get this equalizer, but has been to no avail so far. Central have been too resolute in defense and too positive in attack so far.
I think it's just getting to that time of the game when you know there's 14 minutes left. You're going to throw everything at it because you know anything you can get now, then you can change the game completely.
And they almost changed the game there with that header on, but that just off the target that time. And Derek Edwards and the coaching staff certainly have been a bit more frustrated than they were early on when Harriet put them ahead in the 6th minute. But the header by Mac Burnett that time, he certainly was in an offside position. Central FC in the grey outfits. This is the Caribbean Club Championships 2017, and it is the Central FC team that are in charge of this one. They're bidding for a 3rd consecutive title in the Caribbean Club Championship, and certainly looking the part so far. They've had a defensive slip or two, but they will improve as this tournament goes on. Here's Marcano out towards Harris.
No, they're just giving it away a little cheaply at the minute, Central. They just need to settle down again, keep control of the ball. I know they're trying to get the 3rd goal, but what they cannot do is commit too many players ahead of the ball and give it away cheaply.
Marcano picks up the pieces. Will try to get it onto his right foot. Here's Peltier. Peltier not trying to shoot it with the left. Here's George, and that's overhit that time from the captain of Central FC. Goal kick resulting for Grenades.
Yeah, just a little bit of tired legs, and if the timing isn't right on the pass, and there's just a little water on the ground now, the ball is sliding off of it. If you overhit it, then you're not going to get it. But I would think it's a very, very good performance from Central FC today. They went a goal behind early, but they've dominated the game since they went that goal behind, and they've got themselves in a good commanding position now. They're 2-1. They're creating a lot of chances. They just need to score another one.
Garcia pulls out of that one, but gets the pass out towards De Silva. And here's Peltier collecting the ball. Let's see if he can turn on the Jets here. Cuts back nicely. That's a beautiful bit of play. And he almost had the opening for the shot in on goal. But De Silva and company were waiting in the center. 3 men waiting for that one. Just couldn't get the pass in at all.
I think he just tried to do too much there. You know, you're back in the middle of the goal. Just lay it on to someone like the 2nd goal. Let him have a shot from on top of the area, middle of the goal. He's going back outside of the goal again, and the defender just won the tackle.
Every substitute wants to get their name in the newspapers to clinch perhaps that first team chance. Well controlled there by Carlos Edwards once again.
You know, and Garcia he's been fantastic today. He's been doing a lot of kilometers in this game, you know, and I think he is definitely one of the players who can be up for man of the match.
Nice ball on the far side. Here's the pass being played in. Oh, the keeper misses it and just manages to get it over the bar. What a slip that was there by Barrett. Almost went into the net that time.
You know, again, it's lovely work from Central to get down the sides. I've just been a little bit disappointed in the quality of the balls coming in. You know, you've got the advantage there. It's 3v2. Just play a good ball to the back post and let De Silva attack it, knock it into an open goal.
Well, they almost got Barrett was almost left with egg on his face that time. Another cross that does not beat the first defender. Garcia finds Carlos Edwards. He has Harris on the near side, but goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Richard Thompson.
That's great experience from Carlos again. Just going just a little further back, and what he's doing by that, he's just opening up the game. So he's pulling out the offensive line and the middle line, and there you're in behind them again. So De Silva coming with it. He plays inside. Ooh, and he just cannot get the return.
2 players looked like they were in offside positions that time, and again getting in each other's way. Harris is out there. De Silva offers and gets the ball back to Harris. Now here's Marcano switching out towards the right. Cross played in towards the far post that time. And Peltier has to chase, but forces a mistake from the Grenades defense. Here's Carlos Edwards.
De Silva. Bad decision making from one or two of the players. And come on, Marcano, you know, he's seen across the line. He cannot be in an offside position there. You know, he's leading the line well. I don't know why he's starting to pull in wider areas. Stay in the middle of the park, play in the middle of the park, and let young Peltier run down the line and cross the ball for you to score.
Called by the official on the far side, Dane Ritchie. There's a similar call in a game played here recently, which provoked a lot of discussion on social media. Trinidad and Tobago versus Mexico in the World Cup qualifier. And a lot of discussion about that one. Some of it very uncomplimentary towards the official.
I remember that occasion you're speaking about.
Mexico eventually won that game 1-0. And TNT, what was actually a good goal, it turned out was ruled out for offside. And of course, World Cup qualifying action coming back to Trinidad and Tobago in the next month. TNT will be on the road to Costa Rica and the USA. Two formidable games on the road for the team in red, white, and black. Paul Diaz cleans it up in the midfield for Grenades, but that's a poor forward pass, not to anyone in particular. And Simil does the work here for Central FC. Team in grey leading 2-1, and the Trinidad and Tobago champions and Caribbean champions looking for that hat-trick of titles. Harris.
That's good control again in the middle of the park from Central FC.
George looking
playing
for
it forward.
Peltier does in fact get it. There's Carlos Edwards. That's a good pass. Carlos Edwards, can he find someone in the middle? Three men in grey in the middle.
That's
one of them is Peltier.
From Carlos. You know, you're 2 goals up. All you need to do is keep it. If you cannot get it to someone in the box, just keep it. And Central is coming wrong from left side to
Garcia
right side.
with a crashing third goal. What a shot by Garcia. The keeper got a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. And Central FC have their third goal. They lead 3-1.
And that's some great football from Central. You know, Carlos Edwards, he's down the left side. He raises his head. He doesn't see anybody. He comes back to the top of the area. They work their way to the right side of the box from the left side. It comes to Garcia. He's 20 meters out, and he has a pop. What a good strike from Garcia. The keeper, as he said, he gets his hand straight, but too much power in it. And that's the goal that Central needed, just to stop the anxiety a bit.
3 unanswered goals now by Central FC as Garcia puts one away in the 85th minute of the game, and Central have pretty much put this one to bed now. It's very difficult to see Grenades FC coming back from this one, and they certainly look a dispirited bunch right now.
You know, I thought they played well, Grenades FC. I just thought that the intensity that Central is playing with is just a little too much for them. You know, you see De Silva coming into these little pockets and getting it, and he's been able to run past the midfield and get in the pockets after he comes back and get a touch, you know. And some really nice football from Central.
Marcano continuing to lead the lines here. There's a chance here for Peltier to Garcia once again, and the pass to Marcano cut out that time easily by the man coming in, Blake Thompson. But Central would take it over. Garcia exchanging passes with Carlos Edwards, and they're just toying with the ball right now with their 2-goal lead. Of course, you would want to make sure that you have something to make the goal difference look good also.
Absolutely. You know, if you have the opportunity to score a few goals, you always want to take it, because you never know when it's going to come back, and goal difference is going to be counted.
Good ball played over that time. Here is Harriet, the goal scorer. Can he get back on the score sheet? And that one is tackled well away from him that time. And Central FC, their defenders have not had too much to do, but that time Tariq Sampson with the sliding challenge sends it out of play on the far side.
That's a good composed defending. The striker was able to get beyond the back four, but good composure.
Marcano is going to come off, and he's had a wonderful game here. Jason Marcano, the number 7 scorer of the first goal for Central FC, and on in his place, number 18, Tyreek John. Tyreek John in for Jason Marcano.
You know, and Central, they're really comfortable at this present stage of the game. They've been comfortable since they went 2-1 up. But in the second half, the Grenades, they haven't really showed us anything offensively. They're just sitting back and letting Central have the better of them and attack them.
Edwards to Peltier. Back to Peltier. Here is Garcia, scorer of the third goal for Central FC. Certainly enjoyed that. He really hit it well. To Carlos Edwards. Forward to Peltier. Gets a touch inside of the box now. Back to Edwards. And Peltier finds Garcia. Dribbled his man nicely there, Garcia. Bannister was offering on the right side. Edwards to Peltier. Bit slow on it that time, and Blake Thompson was in quickly and took it away from him. Peltier has come off the worst in that encounter, but the free kick has gone in the favor of Grenades FC.
That's a nice, strong challenge from Blake Thompson. Peltier is trying to play it around the corner. He wins the challenge, the ball goes ahead, and Peltier is trying to pull him back, and he's just holding him off there.
Good strength shown by Blake Thompson. Nice turn that time by Tyreek John. Harris. He's onside this time. 4 men closing in the center, and he goes to the ground. Well, now the official has called it, but he's called it against Central FC. Well,
I don't understand that call there. I thought the contact was the other way, unless it was a handball from Tyreek John.
Yep, it certainly was a handball. The ball actually rolling onto his hand. So it was called as a handball that time. Certainly was inadvertent. He was on the ground and the ball was rolling onto his hand before he rose and got a touch on it. Edwards spoons it out to Peltier. Nice control there by Garcia.
From Garcia.
5 minutes of time added on for stoppages. Offside position that time. Man has just come on, John. And Garcia robs him of it in the midfield. And that's going to be a free kick for Blades FC.
You know, I would think the both Trinidad teams tonight.
5 minutes of time added on. A little bit surprised by 5 minutes.
That's quite a long time. You know, there hasn't been any.
Well, there was one injury, and that was to Karanja Mack, so that held up the game for a little bit. But I'm not sure if 5 minutes is warranted for this one.
It's quite a long time, isn't it?
It's an eternity in football terms. Well, the 2 players chasing that one down.
That is good defensive duties from the striker Tyreek John. You know, he's putting the defenders under pressure. They knock it off for him, and then he's chasing it with the goalkeeper. Good defensive work.
Barrett would have been second in that contest. He was laboring after that one. Unusual for a Jamaican runner to be second in any contest, given their great speed. 1 minute of the time added on for stoppages has elapsed so far. And it's been a competent and a professional performance from Central FC after Grenades FC went ahead early in this one. But since then, it's been 3 unanswered goals. Here's the scorer of the second goal, Carlos Edwards. Tyreek Sampson, back to Edwards.
You can see that Carlos's experience is really telling. You know, he's just holding the ball at the right times. He's playing it at the right times. He knows when to play it forward. He knows when to keep it. You know, and he's having a really nice combination with Nathaniel Garcia as well.
Well, Grenades are back in action in 2 days' time. They're up against Cibao, the Dominican Republic team. And so they have had not the best end of the draw here. They have to play 2 matches in 3 days. And given the exertions that you've seen from them so far, it'd be difficult to see them getting back into this tournament with this 3-1 loss now. What is potentially a 3-1 loss.
Yeah, I would think that Central, they would just maintain possession of it and run the clock down. We're not getting too much offensive action from Grenades. So I would like to think that it would stay the way that it is right now, unless Central can sneak something else at the end.
Well, they haven't fired here Grenades in this one, and they'll want to correct that in their second game. If they are to go out in that second game, they'd certainly want to put in a good account of themselves, better account than in this game against the Trinidad and Tobago champions. Good pass here this time. Chance here for Peltier. And not for the first time he and De Silva have gotten in each other's way. But they maintain possession. Here's Edwards. Oh, he turns nicely. To De Silva. And that could have been the 4th goal. He just bends it wide of the post.
What an effort from De Silva, you know. This is what we were talking about with Meccano. You know, you need to try to whip it on target and get it on target. He just beat the post there. But that's the idea, you know, make the goalkeeper work. You know, he's not ballooning it all the way over the bar. He's just trying to pass it in the goal. And unfortunately there, he just beat the post.
One coat of paint on the post and he would have hit it. Good work on the far side to keep the ball in from John. And the cross in. Just couldn't get the header in on target there. De Silva still stays good for Central. Edwards offering for it.
And Nathaniel, you know, that's been a constant with him today. He's always been showing for it, Nathaniel Garcia.
Good run here by Harris. Sends a cross in. That was a dangerous one, but well cut out this time by the Grenades FC defense. They've done well to keep the score down to 3. But
they've defended well in tight areas, you know. But I just think that Central was just a little too much for them. The intensity that they've been playing at, the possession, the ball possession that they've had, they've just more or less run them into the ground.
That was the chance there for De Silva, and another shot in on goal, this time well saved by Barrett. Some strong hands there that time to keep that one out from in the back of his net.
What a challenge it was. What a shot it was from De Silva coming in on his left foot, you know.
And they haven't had a shot in on goal for some time now, Grenades FC. And there it is. That's the end of the game. And Central FC, the 2-time defending champions, they have run out winners here 3-1. And it's been a very professional, very composed performance. A good day at the office for Central FC. But for Grenades FC, that 3-1 defeat puts them at the bottom of the table for the moment. And that is certainly not where you want to be in a group that includes Cibao FC. Confirmation there. Central, the goal scorers, Mark Cano and Edwards in the first half, and Garcia with a pile driver in the second half to give them that 3-1 lead. That's after Harriet had put Grenades FC in a shock lead in the 6th minute.
Yeah, I think that Central was a very controlled, very professional performance tonight. They suffered the only goal, but they were able to compose themselves. They maintained possession of the football. They worked the ball well into wide areas, going from side to side. And I think the Grenades, they ran them into the ground. They were able to get back the 3 goals. And at the end, it's a comfortable win for them tonight. I would think that the both Trinidad teams, the coaches, they would be really happy with the performances and the results tonight.
Well, we have an interview coming up with Derek Edwards, the coach of the Grenades FC team.
We're speaking with Grenades head coach Derek Edwards. Coach, result didn't go the way you would have hoped for. What are your reactions?
Well, it's a bit disappointed, but I think that the guys, they try their best, I think that Central, is a very good team. They move off the ball a lot, and I think that we weren't able to, stay with them in those quick 1-2s, So I think that my guys, they still played well.
You went ahead first. What happened after that?
Well, I think that we get a bit complacent, At the end of the day, we have to understand the game ain't over until the final whistle blow. So I think we take the foot off the pedal. But, we have our game coming up, so we have to go back to the giant board and try to win the next one.
Coach, thank you and good luck.
Thanks. And they're coming up next against Cibao on Tuesday. Grenades FC will go into that. Let's go to the highlights of the second half. Carlos Edwards had scored just before the end of the first half to give Central FC the 2-1 lead. Central pressed for that second goal, but standing in their way was Miko Barrett. Jason Marcano was impressive again in the second half, always teasing and tormenting the defense. But this one put over bar by Sean De Silva, but what a challenge coming in that time.
What a ball it was. You can see Jason waiting for him. He teased it up right for him. Good challenge coming in, but he couldn't finish. And then they keep getting in each other's way here, and he cannot get the ball out of his feet. But it's some nice little football there. Jason is the catalyst for everything. He's playing with his back turn, plays it into him.
There were some challenges that went the wrong way. This one earning a yellow card for Hollius. And also we saw Blake Thompson being carted off the field, not for the first time in the game. Marcano getting another shot in on goal, but wide of the mark this time.
And it keep happening today. We getting into good areas and just not delivering good crosses.
And then came the goal. And Garcia with that awesome drive from outside of the box. The keeper just getting a hand on it, but could not push away that powerful effort. And Garcia getting the third goal and just desserts for what an outstanding game he had. The last chance went to De Silva, who almost curled that one in. He had another shot on goal, which was well saved by Miko Barrett. But that is how it has ended 3-1. Let's go down to Sean Fuentes, who has Carlos Edwards with him.
We're speaking with Central FC's Carlos Edwards. Carlos, great way to start the campaign. Goal tonight. What are your reactions?
Wasn't the way that we wanted to start. Obviously going 1-0 down, but I think the guys in there regrouped really well. We were trying to get back at least one before the half was over, and obviously we got the two. In the end, obviously it was a good game. I think we could have done a bit more, but saying that, obviously, as you said before, it's a great start. 3 goals, and so may it continue.
What was the key factor you think for Central FC tonight?
I think we wanted to play at a high tempo, try to close down from in the front, and obviously try to counter-attack as soon as we win the ball. And as I said before, it obviously didn't go in the first 10 minutes as planned, but obviously gradually during the game, obviously we get going, and obviously we get the goals.
What do you think it would mean for a team like Central FC to get to the CONCACAF Champions League or even the CONCACAF League?
That would be obviously something great for the guys. Obviously, I think, Sancho and the boys and Dale and Stern have been building a good squad. And I don't see why we can't obviously qualify. And, it's going to take a lot. But I think you have a good bunch of lads here who can take the club forward.
You've been on the international stage before. What would it mean for your teammates to get to that higher international level?
I mean, it's something that you can't really take away from the guy's CV. It's something will always be with them. And I'm here just obviously to help and to encourage them to strive for better things. And, the guys only had the potential. It's only sooner rather than later you see a few of them guys playing at a high level.
Carlos, thank you and good luck in the rest of the campaign.
So there you have it. Akinathan, Carlos Edwards there speaking to Sean Fuentes, and a good start for Central FC. Exactly what they would have wanted, and they have put themselves in a great position to move forward to the final.
Absolutely. It's always important. You get the first game, you get the first win under your belt. But I'm just thinking for some of these young lads, I hope that they understand that the privilege that it is to be playing along Carlos Edwards. You know, you can see Carlos Edwards out there, and he's teaching these young players. He's keeping it simple. He's still putting in the workload with them, and he's just working them into position. So it's great for them.
Thank you very much, Russell. Coming up on Tuesday, Portmore United versus Racing the Gonaive. And also in the second game, it's Cibao versus Grenades. That is the action coming up on Tuesday in the Caribbean Club Championships 2017. Final score in this one, Central FC 3-1 winners over Grenades FC. On behalf of Russell and the rest of the crew, I'm Vinny Ramfield saying bye for now.